Welcome to Wine Soundtrack International. Listen to the passion with which producers narrate their winery and their world. In 30 answers, discover their stories, personalities, and passions.
Hello friends and listeners of Wine Soundtrack, this is Andrew Ashurst, and today I am with Jessie Llopart from Llopart Winery. Hello Jessie.
Hello.
Could you tell us a little bit about Llopart cellar?
Well, Llopart, it's a family winery. We were established in 1887. It's more than 135 years that we produced the first bottle of a sparkling wine.
Right. And where exactly are you?
We are very close to Barcelona, at Penedès area in Subirats town.
And how many hectares or how many acres do you have?
So we have 500 hectares. And 1,200 acres.
Perfect. So 1,200 acres. Good. Bit different.
Mediterranean forest.
Yeah. Mediterranean forest as well.
Yeah.
Fun.
So we did. So Llopart state comprises 500 acres, and from that 250 acres of organic mountain vineyards.
Oh, lovely. Very good, very good. And how many cases do you produce?
So we produce 45,000 cases.
Right. And what types of wine?
So mostly are sparkling wines under the collective brand of Corpinat. So we are a co-founder of Corpinat. Corpinat distinguishes the sparkling wines made in the heart of Penedès region. So all are organic grapes harvested by hand and vinified at the premise of the winery.
What markets can you find or can you be found in?
So primarily the domestic market. It's our main market, but also we export to US, UK, to Japan, Denmark, Sweden, in several markets. We are present in over 35 countries nowadays.
And what's your first relevant memory regarding wine?
Well, I can remember the smell of the harvest time when I was a kid. So maybe this is my first memory.
That's your first one. And what was the first memorable wine that you drank?
I recall the emotion that I felt when I was around 10 years, that I tasted for the first time the Leopardi at Christmas time during the lunch. And well, for that time, it was the first time that my parents let me participate in the smelling and tasting of that wine.
At the age of 10?
Yeah, more or less, it was that time.
Yeah, that nowadays we don't really do that.
Yeah, we just smell and taste a little bit.
That's all right, that's good. So what we can really see here in the Penedès region is that wine culture is actually in the family as well. No?
Of course, yeah, I think it's very important.
So, traveling around the world, which is the best foreign wine you've ever drunk?
I really like the sweet wines, and for example, I can remember that it tasted Pedro Ximénez from 1929.
Wow!
And I remember that because it's the year that my father was born.
Right.
And it was really good. It was from Toralbala.
Right. And the worst wine?
And the worst one was probably when it was a sweet sparkling wine that I had on the street in a New Year's Eve celebration in Budapest. And it was the conditions, and it was in an awful plastic glass, also ground temperature.
Right. So it wasn't so much the wine; it was the ambience.
Yeah, and it was like on the street when we were young. So, but really, it was like wow.
It stuck in your mind. It stuck in your mind.
It wasn't the best one.
So, amongst all populations, who do you think drinks the best in terms of quality?
Well, I could say that the Mediterranean countries, Spain, of course, and France For me, it's a really good place, a good country for wines, of course, and Italy. So probably these three.
Yeah. How much is the cellar's most expensive wine?
Well, the most expensive wine that we have now on sale is the Llopart familiar. That it's 14 years old, and it's a very special, very keen quantity of bottles, depending on the vintage, then less than 1,000 bottles. But also we have stored very valuable bottles in our Enoteca familiar.
Right. And how much is the Llopart?
And the Llopart is around 150 euros.
Good. Which of the wines from your cellar is giving you the most satisfaction?
Well, so every harvest I'm really surprised of the potential of the wines of our estate, because we are in a really nice altitude. We are in an outstanding location, very close to the Mediterranean Sea, just 15 kilometers from the Mediterranean. But I guess that I could say that I'm very proud of the aging potential, that they have very long aging sparkling wines that we make, and that they will be the Leopardi, XVIII, Original.
Right. Do you believe in the perfect variety?
I really believe in the local varieties, such as Xarel·lo, Macabeu, and Parellada. Monastrell for the rosé, for example. So the autochthon grapes of our area, we have proven that they are the most representative of our terroir, and so they are the more resilient also to the challenge of the global warming. So,
which is a big problem at the moment.
It is,
and it will be in the future a bit more. Right. What's your opinion? Trick question now, because this is a bit of a difficult one. What is your opinion about wine critics and scores?
Well, so we have a lot of respect for them, of course, and they help us to promote our wines by quoting them at their reviews. So it's a maximum respect, and really glad for their job, of course.
So now getting a little bit personal, and now getting down to wine. What do you prefer? Do you prefer white, red, or rosé?
I prefer white.
White?
Yeah.
And still or sparkling?
And I prefer sparkling.
So, and if we talk about sparkling wine on a world view, would you be tasting champagne, or would you be tasting another type of sparkling?
Corpinat, of course.
Keep it at home. No. Have you ever paired a white wine with meat and a red wine with fish?
Several times, because I really like the contrast between food and drink, so I do.
And have you ever had too many glasses or too many bottles of wine?
Sometimes, of course, in some festivity.
And what's your remedy for a hangover?
Well, the best, I think, is to remember to drink water during the festivity, during the dinner, the lunch. So
is that 1-1 or 2-1 or?
Probably would be 1-1.
1-1, no?
If you can, but if you remember that, it's not easy sometimes. And also, I should say that the best remedy, I think, that for the hangover could be a glass of grape juice.
Ah, grape juice.
Yeah.
I think you've got lovely grape juice. No, you've got You've got a grape juice which is for charities.
Yeah, so we have the Xarel·lo grape juice. The most that it's a really a good not wine, so juice that we're producing.
Yeah, and I think the money for that goes to a project, no, for that children with cancer or something like that.
Yeah, to invest for the child's cancer.
Brilliant. And for example, if obviously there are lots of non-drinkers. People that do not drink wine, and what would a non-drinker lose out on by not tasting your wine?
So well, I could say that having a glass of Llopart, it's a great experience that involves you not only all the five senses, so also that brings you a trip to the region. So in every sip you could see the beautiful landscape, smell the nature, so where the grapes grow from, transfer yourself to the Mediterranean. So that's the something that probably could be the solution to avoid that. Don't taste it.
Yeah, so it's probably having a look at the essence of the wine, not just the alcohol, because obviously there are people that cannot drink and there are people that do not want to drink.
Yeah. And of course, we have our grape juice, so it's 100% alcohol free, and it's vegan, sulfate free, organic. So
then they have a good option to try.
It's the best
and
option.
Then we love imagining things here at Wine Soundtrack. And we're gonna take our imagination to a place now, which is, you imagine that space aliens come down on your property and they land in the middle of a vineyard, and you want to give them some wines to taste. Which wines from your cellar would you give them?
Probably, so I would start with the chorrello juice. So because I don't know if they can have alcoholic beverage, so probably
they're driving as well.
Yeah, so probably I would start with that. And if they like, and I see that they are resistant to that, so probably I will continue with the sparklings or some still wines also.
Brilliant. Each vintage is a different story, right? Every vintage changes. We know that now, that obviously over the past years here in Bernardus we've seen how these vintages change. Or do they? Do they really change a lot, or are they more or less consistent, constant?
Well, each vintage is a different story, definitely. But there are, of course, things that repeat every year. So you can taste the nuances of each vintage much better in the single grape wines than into the blends. But of course there is differences.
Do you have any good luck rituals when the harvest starts?
So back in the day, the priest used to bless the animals, the people, before the harvest. And nowadays, we continue having a festivity, so we start with this festivity in my town.
Nice. Do you capture any signs or any omens that will predict how the harvest will actually be?
And the weather. It's a main factor.
So it's more about looking up and analyzing
the weather, and so we will know.
Good. Like many producers, well, I don't know if it's many, but there are some out there. They love walking around the cellars, and they love speaking to the barrels, or they love speaking to the bottles, or things like that. Some people even put music on as well. If you were to talk to the bottles, what would you say? Or do you talk to the bottles first of all?
Well, yeah, we like to talk with the bottles. And we keep going, and we play music.
Yeah, you play music?
Yeah, we play music.
What type of music do you play?
Well, so depends of the day, but yeah, we used to play music in the cellar.
Oh,
so
good. Right, some people, they love, or they actually read tea leaves in the bottom of a cup. I've never heard of anyone actually reading tannins or sediments of a glass yet. But if we could read the sediments of a red wine, what would you like it to reveal?
Well, so the lottery, so I should buy it.
So the lottery number.
Of course.
Right. When you were little, what did you want to be when you grew up?
A nurse. A nurse, like my mother, she was a nurse, so she started as a nurse, and so maybe yes, when I was very little, a nurse.
Right. And then afterwards, you came straight into the company, or did you study to be a nurse, or
No. It was just something when I was very very young. I studied tourism direction and languages. So
when you're not working, how do you actually spend your free time?
like hiking, cycling, spending time in the nature, or hanging out with friends. Well, so.
And who's your favorite singer or group?
I like rock, like blues, like Coldplay, also more Catalan singers, Spanish singers.
What's your favorite film dedicated to wine?
Sideways is one of the films that I really like it, and in La Toscana also is another one.
I think they were two films that really did condition. I think it conditioned even Merlot in America. Yeah, so it was a big conditioner.
The Pinot Noir, I think. No,
I think as well. Yeah. Okay, so imagine again you're having a romantic evening. Which wine would you order?
Well, maybe something that I don't normally I have, like a white wine from Burgundy or something like that.
Something special.
Yeah, something different.
Something different.
Yeah, something different and nice.
Do you support any sports teams?
Yes, Barça.
Barça.
Too.
And they just won one cup. No, the Super Cup of Spain, I think. And
we had the chance to offer to Messi and Suarez, two football players from Barça, a bottle of our most iconic sparkling wine, so the original. So it was like 3 years ago.
So we're not imagining this actually happened.
Yeah,
Messi and Suarez.
Yeah. So they have Llopart bottle directly from us.
Yeah. And what was the best piece of advice that you ever received?
Believe in yourself. It comes from my parents.
And what would be the best piece of advice that you would give others?
Probably could be keep on doing what you are doing, spreading the word and getting the public to know wines in general and Corpinat in particular.
What do you think? What's your best, or what's your best achievement or proudest achievement at work?
So every new market that we open abroad, especially the new ones like Kazakhstan this year, Ukraine a couple of years ago. So there was a really always So we're very glad every time that we open a market, of course, and they were really good importers. So.
Good, nice. I want you to complete this following sentence, right? A table without wine is like...
A beach without sun.
That's a nice one. I've never heard that one. Right. Right. A VIP, again, we're going back to imagining situations. A VIP is there photographing or being photographed, by the paparazzi, right, in a restaurant. And on the table, you've got one of your bottles in all of its glory. What famous person would you like to be sat at that table with your bottle of wine?
Well, so probably like Bruce Springsteen, Lenny Kravitz, that also I like a lot. So well,
I think Lenny Kravitz has a bottle under. I think I'm not quite sure now. I think he was in an advert. Yeah.
So maybe was.
Yeah. Good. What sort of wines do you think we're going to be drinking in the year 2300?
Well, so let's hope that they will be organic wines and sustainable. So.
And do you think we're still going to be drinking wine in 2,000 years' time?
Yes, of course. Yes, we have doing so from the last 8,000 years.
So nothing's going to change. Yeah. Do you think? Or I want you to name 3 wines that you would take on a desert island.
Llopart de Llegat Familiar, so the tribute to my parents. So that is a sparkling wine that we age for a longer time. This would be one. And also maybe Milmanda from Torres, that I really like it. And it could be a red, so Clos Martinet from Pere,
Right.
from Priorat.
So a little bit all over the region,
Yeah.
or all over
Yeah.
Catalonia, which is nice, and some bubbles, and also some still wines. What is a winemaking area in the world that you would like to explore?
New Zealand, because it's maybe the area that it's more far away from where we are, so New Zealand.
Brilliant. So what we're going to do now is we're going to play a little game. I'm going to give you a variety, and I want you to pair it with a song or a song style. So a style. So let's go with Macabeo first of all.
Macabeo, so with Viva la Vida from Coldplay.
And Xarel·lo, which is another variety that is in the blend here in Corpinats and in sparkling wine. So Xarel·lo.
So with Xarel·lo, I'll choose a local artist, a local singer that is Ramon Miravet, and the song is "The Home Is Where the Heart Is." It's a song that I like a lot.
And the last one, Parellada.
And Parellada, I would like to pair with maybe Garota de Ipanema. So that it's a Brazilian song that I really like, and well, yeah, I think it's a nice song.
Jessica, thank you ever so much for being with us today. Just before we finish, can you just remind people where we can find your wines? Can people visit the winery, and what is your website?
Well, so you can find our wines. The best thing to find our wines probably it could be a search into the wine searcher, or to in the States with the wine.com, or to our, maybe you can ask for some information to our website. It's Llopart.com.
Right.
So over there, so you will find some information.
So Llopart is Llopart.com.
Yeah, it's that.
And can people come and visit you?
Sure, yeah, of course. So you are very welcome. And so we offer guided tours and different experiences to the winery, and some specials ones as glamping in the vineyards and under the stars, and great tastings.
Superb. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks for listening to a new episode of Wine Soundtrack International. For details and updates, visit our website, winesoundtrack.com.